back to the channel. Today I am going to show you the latest ride. If you can see there behind me, we did finally get the GT350. Been wanting one of these for quite some time, and it happens to be the exact spec that I would have ordered one, with the Avalanche Gray and white stripes. Looks pretty awesome in my opinion. And yes, the flat plane crank V8 sounds phenomenal. It is pretty epic. It's all about that engine, suspension, and the wider fenders on this GT350, this Shelby. So stay with me here. We'll go do a quick walk around and show you what we've got. Well, here it is, guys. This is a 2016 GT350. So the first, well, it's not the first model year because they did make a few in 2015, but for the high production numbers, first year. And they only made the Avalanche Gray for, I think, 16 and 17. And I really love it. It's similar to the chalk gray in the Porsche lineup, and I've always wanted a chalk gray Porsche as well, so this definitely will do for the Mustang color. And it looks like probably something aftermarket there. The previous owner did yellow calipers, which I actually kind of like it. It actually fits in with that gray color and the black. It's not bad looking. I would definitely prefer the yellow over red. I think the red's starting to get a little overplayed. Well, it's just because I'm used to it in the Porsche world. If you don't have carbon ceramics in the Porsche world, you have the red calipers usually. So, but yeah, it's a pretty clean ride for a 16. It does have 27,000 miles on it, so it does have, you know, expected rock chips here and there. Windows are already tinted. You can see me getting in trouble for that here in Iowa. Look, a little darker than what's legal, so we'll see what happens there. And the sport exhaust, man, when you flip that switch, it goes from tame to wild, man. It is definitely worth the extra cost to get a GT350 just for that engine. And the transmission. I've only put a few miles on it, but this is by far the best manual transmission I've ever owned. I've driven a couple of the Porsche manuals, which are really good too. Haven't done like a GT3 in the manual, only the dual clutches there, so can't compare it that way, but that Tremec 6-speed is definitely buttery smooth. It doesn't have the track pack, so this one just has the tech pack, which is okay because I don't plan to track this one. I got my fill of the track day with the GT3, so this one will just be a fun toy to annoy the neighbors probably with that exhaust, but we're gonna have some fun with this one. Alright, here's the interior. So with the tech pack, you get the optional standard seats with heating and cooling, which I actually prefer these because, like I said, I'm not going to track, so I don't need the Recaros, and these ones have a lot more of adjustment, just be a lot more comfortable for regular driving. You guys probably know, if you're GT350 fans, that sill right there only came on the 16s, which is kind of cool, where it tells you about the 5.2 and the flat plane crank. After 16, they just had the Ford Performance sill plate, so kind of cool to have that. Even got the GT350 logo in the floor mats, which is pretty cool. But otherwise, it's pretty standard Mustang fare inside. With the MagneRide suspension though, I was very surprised at how solid and planted it felt. I'm used to my previous Mustangs. I've had a few others, like a 2006, and it was just you know, the build quality wasn't there. It was a little rattly here and there, you know, for a Mustang. But this one, just when you're driving it around, even when you hit some pretty big bumps, it soaks them up pretty good. It feels solid, and that's good for a Mustang. So, and I'll also say this is the first one with the independent rear suspension that I've owned. So always had the live axle Mustangs. Had a 2006, like I said, the convertible that was kind of done up like the Eleanor, and we had a 2003 Mustang GT with this 5-speed back then, and then we did have a 1994 Mustang there for a little bit with a big block swap in it. So we've had a couple Mustangs, but this will be by far the most special and the fastest. Alright guys, what would a GT350 video be without an exhaust sound? Let's start this thing out. Now that right there, it's quiet, right? Doesn't sound too special. But when we flip that little switch right there, it's gonna get loud. Now exhaust is in sport mode. Yes, please. Thing sounds insane. I don't know if it's coming across on the video, but in person is pretty freaking awesome. That's only 5,000 RPM, so we got about 3,000 to go, so you can imagine what that sounds full bore. Love it. Let's go take a look at the engine. Let's see what's making all that noise. And there is 75% of the reason why you buy a GT350, right guys? Check that thing out. That is what makes all that glorious noise. Inside there is that flat plane crank, 8,200 RPM. Sounds like nothing I've ever heard. One of the best sounding V8s out there, by far, for a American brand. I've had the GT3 now, and that's one of the best sounding 6-cylinders ever. And we can say this is probably one of the best sounding V8s ever. It's just next level of sound and just theater. Even the McLaren, man. Like I said, I always thought McLaren just didn't have the sound because of the turbos. And that was a flat plane crank V8 as well, but it just, once you force induction with turbochargers, you just don't get the sound. Supercharger, then you get to keep the sound, but not on the turbos. So guys, stay tuned for more on the GT350. We'll be doing a couple other videos. We did buy this one for our first time buying anything from Vroom, kind of like Carvana if you haven't heard of them, but we're going to do a video on that whole process, and you know, there were some things, so stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching, and check out some drone footage here of the new ride.